time on Stay Tuned. Small engine, big power. Hit it. Really find that limiter there. Really dig in deep. That's good.
Pizza time, baby!
Welcome back to Stay Tuned. I'm Tony Angelo and I never learn. I was a professional drift racer from about 2004 to 2014, and I have wanted to get back into a fun, reliable, easy drift car essentially since I stopped competing. There's a ton of great drift cars out there if you want to get into drifting. The smart move is the 350Z, 370Z, C5, C6 Corvettes. These cars are awesome because they handle great, they're modern cars, there's a ton of them around, and they come with a good bit of horsepower. To get on track, all you really need are a few different mods, and you're out and sliding around. Now that's the smart move, and that's why it's not for me. My plan instead is this. I have a rusty 1990 240SX. This thing was abandoned into the Pennsylvania mud in 2008. It's crusty, disgusting. It's been home for all sorts of rodents. And the one redeeming quality of this car is that it has this JDM only SR20 DET turbo 4-cylinder motor swap. I've had this thing running in the last year or so. It sounds pretty good. And the plan was this: gut the entire interior, spend hours and hours cutting all the rust out, fixing it all, getting the chassis right, throwing a ton of suspension parts at this thing, and then eventually getting it on track. And then I did do one smart thing. I bought this car instead. This is an entirely rust-free, pristine 1990, who cares, 240SX. It's already got the interior gutted. It's got a sweet roll cage in it, wide body kit. It is as clean as can be. There is no rust on it. And this is gonna allow us to get on track this century. I did spend a few bucks on this thing. 2006 me would slap me in the face for spending 4,500 bucks on a caged S13 shell. But I wanna get on track, and I wanna get on track soon. Step one is to pull that SR20 DET engine and transmission out of the rusty coupe, put it into this very sweet caged up hatch, and then get rid of this thing forever. Let's go. All right, let's put it up on the lift and get cracking.
All right,
good. Here's a little look at some of the stuff we would have been dealing with trying to fix this car. Some of these parts I think are trying to break free and then make their way back to Japan through the sea. Giant frame rail is, that's the seat bottom.
Safety first.
Structurally now the carpet is holding everything together, which is nice. The weirdest thing is this. This car was clean and solid, and you can see most of it's just what was sitting in the mud. The mud just ate it up. It's terrible. And we just don't want to get into a month of rust repair. That's why I bought that other car. But we're gonna take all the good stuff. Engine, trans, it's got a little catback exhaust. We'll take all that stuff, and then it's still a complete car, so I'm not gonna junk it. Someone will buy this thing for sure, because it's a complete 240, and you just can't find them anymore. So somebody will come and get this thing this week, I bet.
Not bad.
And it's rocked here. Look at that.
Not good.
Not good. No bueno. But they make patch kits. None of this is unusual.
Yeah, it's very northeastern.
Yeah, this is how we do it up here in the Northeast. We got good pizza and bad rust. All right, we're about to pull the only valuable thing out of this car and get ready to put it in that one. We have disconnected the fuel system, wiring, coolant lines, pretty much everything. Throttle cable, shifter, clutch, hydraulics, etc. Both the engine mounts are off, but you got to jump underneath and take the trans. Zach, you want to take the trans mount? Let the last few bolts off. I'm going to take some pressure off of here in my World War II machine shop we work in, we have this killer gantry crane. That's what we pull motors out with. It's the best. There you go.
Loose.
So the only thing is sometimes the back edge of the turbo outlet gets caught on the steering shaft. If I recall correctly from 15 years ago, last time I did this probably.
Good old days?
Yeah, good old days from my glory days.
What else good do you remember about these?
They sound good. They rev high.
Okay.
They make decent power. If you get them too hot, they spit the rod bearings out the side of the block.
Okay, good
That's
to know.
pretty standard.
Yeah. Clear? Start trying to bring it forward. Wait.
Pretty close. Yep. Okay.
All right, that thing I'm talking about, that flange is now on the
Yep.
steering shaft. There it goes.
Things are going for premium these
Bags
days.
full.
Oh yeah, these things are going for a premium. That's not a joke. That's not a Fast and Furious joke anymore. I looked into like maybe I'd sell this. This swaps are like $4,000, dude. Maybe it's crazy. Yeah, the smartest move would be to sell this and immediately put an LS in that other car, but we're not doing that. Like I said, we're not doing the smart one.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, let's put it right on a cart. Saying lower it down.
Bring it around now, baby.
It should lay pretty flat,
Yeah.
if I recall.
I think so.
All right, we pulled everything usable out of the old gold coupe, which is the engine, the transmission, and the fuel tank. Now we're sending it out of here to go on to the next journey with its new owner. Someone even dumber than me. Let's go. Still scared. Why does it drive so good?
Because it knows.
Okay, so before we can hot rod this little 2-liter turbo engine, first things first, we had Zach take it outside, give it a good scrub, and hose it off. It was disgusting. This has been a mouse habitat for a long time. Looks like they had a lot of fun in here. It looks a ton better now. It's mostly aluminum, so it did actually clean up pretty nicely. Zach is pulling off the stock T25 turbo, and we're gonna install something much nicer.
Big turbo guy. Look at that thing.
Gosh, Drift King over here.
Snaily.
Incredible.
Thing's adorable.
This car has this little divorced outlet that's better than stock, except that it's kind of coming apart. It has this little divider that sits inside the turbo exhaust housing to run the wastegate flow through this little tube and the regular flow through this tube. Then they join back together 5 inches later. Apparently that's cool. But we're just gonna start tack welding stuff together because all this exhaust stuff gets hot and cold and hot and cold, hot and cold, and it's very like brittle and it always comes loose. So we've got welders that are gonna fix that. So this is what's gonna make all that extra power. This is an MMP SS300 turbocharger. It's a little ball bearing unit that bolts right in place of stock and can make up to 380 horsepower. That's with cams and a head gasket and pretty high boost. So we're probably guessing 325 we'll be making at about 14 pounds, and that's plenty. And about 125 more than stock. It's gonna slide right in here. And unfortunately, we won't see much of it, but it's gonna do the job. Totally different compressor housing, bigger wheel, super cool little setup, and it's made to bolt in place of a stock turbo so we can use our exhaust. The whole thing will all work. We're using our stock manifold, which is pretty cool. And if you look really closely, the guys at MMP even engraved my name on the billet compressor wheel or printed it. It's pretty sick. All right, so I'm getting ready to install our SS300 MMP turbo. It's an outfit out of Australia, making some pretty cool stuff. I know they work with a lot of Japanese drifters because they're right next door. I'm looking at essentially full AN line setup for water and oil. We got oil feed, regular oil drain, and then we've got water in and out. This is a water-cooled center section, which really helps them last a long time. I'm just gonna mock it all up because I'm not exactly sure where everything goes. But it's pretty straightforward. It's got a restrictor already in it. Ball bearing turbo doesn't need a ton of oil. Too much, in fact, will make it smoke and make it awful. So you want to find exactly how much it needs and then run the proper restrictor. This shirt here, my Angelo's gym shirt, you can go to Angelo96 on Instagram and click my link tree if you're interested in supporting. This is one of my favorites. It just kind of commemorates the Drag Week 2019 rip I did with Mike Finnegan. Yeah, or you can go, there's gonna be a link in this description. Go to my Shopify store, order it up, get it on, get out there, lift some turbos, lift some rear ends, lift whatever is heavy. It's good for you. Grab the set of ISR urethane engine mounts. They have a whole kit. These are height adjustable. You just stack the washers where you need them to get the height you're going for, which is pretty radical. Little divider piece, little gas diverter. That's never coming off now unless you need it to. You can just grind it free. Just a couple tacks on those little Allen bolts. And I'm going to put it on here with a fresh gasket. And believe it or not, we're going to tack these bolts and nuts right to this piece as well. They just come loose constantly. There are some very fancy pieces of hardware that go in and then expand, stuff like that. We don't have that. We're just going to put bolts in there. Little tack on the head in a very accessible place. If you ever take it off, no big deal, grind it off and remove it. If not, this thing will be bouncing down the track in no time. Fully spider-fied SS 300 MMP ball bearing turbocharger ready to install. We're not gonna weld these on. I've seen some people do that, but we have these little lock washer plates that Nissan uses that keep them tight. So I have one like this. Throw it up in there. Put the nuts on, tighten down, and then you can fold these tabs down and keep it all together. I've got the oil line tight on the turbocharger itself, and I'm hanging the other end of it out so I can tighten it off over here. This water line is gonna come up here. This stock guy is gonna connect in the back. We're pretty close. These turbos have a really special torque rating on them. What you wanna do is put an open-ended wrench on them and then just push as hard as you can until you punch the engine block, and then it's good. I believe this thing just has a stock clutch in it. Sometimes when these engines came from Japan, you would tear the transmission off and find some goodness in there. All I found so far are like some acorns and some berries and nuts that looks like some mice had been using to like homestead. So we're gonna pull this off, see what we've got, and then talk about the good stuff that's going in.
You mean like that?
What? Shut the up.
Twin disc, triple disc?
All right, it is indeed an OS Geiken twin disc clutch.
That mouse has been deleted.
Whoa.
Okay.
Just like a $2,000 clutch in here. This car has no extraneous mods besides that one turbo outlet, but somebody that went hard put a very serious clutch in here. What do you want to do now?
Let's leave this one on here.
We should.
Yeah, is there a bunch of shit? Yeah.
Oh my
Get
god.
over here.
Plate. So you got that guy and that guy. They look. So sometimes these are balanced. Specifically, like to have the plates in a certain position. A twin or a triple disc is going to have regular pressure plate, some kind of friction disc, like the actual clutch disc itself. Then it's going to have a friction plate, more metal, another friction disc, and the flywheel minimum. As you get triple and quadruple, there's more and more and more. I'm just marking it so it goes back in the same direction because they are, you see there's fingers here and there's fingers here. I don't want to make sure we get it right back the way it is. I don't want to throw the balance off.
There's a real good road, like.
All right, what are we thinking?
It's like a lot of, some mice moved in for sure, but.
Damn, that looks good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does
plate.
look really good.
That was really one time.
You look at them flywheel bolts in there.
Yeah, they're serious. Okay.
Keys we got.
Yeah.
No.
There's a little heat on it, but not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
So what we have to do is get all this mouse garbage out of here, which is just super disgusting. Blow it all out, and then. But this is about as good as a twin plate's gonna look. Like there's not much heat on here at all. This looks amazing. These things usually come out purple. These things go to hell if you do them wrong. Okay, so I looked it up. This is the highest rated OS Geiken clutch. It is a triple 3RC. This is bad as they come. It'll hold 1,000 horsepower, so we're gonna leave it in there. We just can't take it out. It looks like it's barely used. I went through, cleaned it all out, just wiped down all the friction surfaces. Barb Leonardo took the mouse condominium out of the bell housing, cleaned everything up, gave it a quick lube job, and it should be ready to go. Everything is moving freely. We're just gonna slam this thing back together and then install it into the car. But you can see, nice and clean, moving beautifully. We're ready to rock. All right, it's time to drop our SR20 into my fresh Florida hatch. It's been cleaned up. It's got a big old MMP turbo on there. It has a sick OS Geiken triple plate clutch we didn't know about, and it's ready to go to its new home. It's really like a glow up we're doing here. This thing coming out of that rusty disaster into this nice clean car. One thing you'll notice, the under hood here is super clean, right? Zach came through, did a little bit of spot welding on the pinch welds to stiffen everything up. That's something you do on this chassis. Really helps the thing handle well. We put GK Tech steering rack spacers that push it forward and a GK Tech steering shaft stiffener. It gets rid of what's essentially like a rag joint. So that was just prep to get it dropped in. Now it's time to go. All right. Okay, it's a whole new day here in the Stay Tuned shop. Our SR20 is nestled in its new home, looking awesome in this very clean engine bay. The old coupe is off, you know, into the wild blue yonder. Yeah. Someone's gonna either buy it for $1,000 or we're gonna push it in the lake. Something's gonna happen today. I'm excited about it. My buddy Mikey is here from North Jersey. My guy. Mike's been working on drift cars with me for 20 years, basically. You were around when this was the cool setup. He has a very sweet S13 with a Nissan 240Z engine in it that we put together a very long time ago. 17 years ago.
It's been more than 20 years, like 25.
Anyway, Mikey has a super sweet hatch just like this that he's been reliably drifting for 15 years or something.
15 on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's awesome. We've done a bunch of stuff together. He is much more of a Nissan expert than I am. I actually never really drove Nissans back in the day when it was like early drifting days. Rotary dude, yeah. Even when this was the smart move, I still wasn't doing it. I always made drifting like harder than it needed to be.
You took one of these and put it in RX-7.
I did do that. That was cool. All right, well, we're gonna basically split up, all pick jobs. Zach and I are gonna do intercooler fab. We're just gonna fabricate our own little very tightly fit intercooler system. You are gonna do oil cooler and figure out the turbo oil drain, which is now hitting something.
Do the fuel system.
And you're gonna get on fuel system. All right, let's check in here and there. Let's go. We got a lot of work to do. This thing's gotta run tonight, or we're gonna lose the shop. That's it. We'll lose it. No more pizza for anybody. All right, so our turbocharger is nestled right there on the exhaust manifold. It's gonna spin, compress a bunch of air, make boost, and while it does that, it's actually making it hotter, less efficient, less dense, making less power. So you run an intercooler, which essentially, as the air passes across these finned cores, gets cooled down by air blowing across it. This is essentially a heat exchanger, air to air, this style, because there's air going across it and air going in it. And by the time it gets to this side, about ready to go in the engine, it's more dense, it's cool, it's gonna make more power. And that's how it works. All right, one thing we did start doing, I don't know, 8 years into Formula D, is realize that intercoolers are super precious and they can't get exploded. And drift cars tend to run into stuff a lot. So we move them behind the bash bar, all the way in here. It's gonna sit right in front, sandwiched in front of the radiator, which is the move, but we have to remove a little bit of metal to actually get it home. Okay, same here. So I'm just cutting out a little bit of material out of the radiator support here so that we can fit our intercooler in with these outlet pipes we're going to weld on there.
So as with most things on this car that's been sitting for 15 years, the alternator is very crusty. We don't trust that it's actually going to work, but it's very difficult to find an alternator for this Japanese market engine. Turns out back in the day, we found out that the US engine that's originally in this car, K240DE or E, that alternator is pretty much the same, except for the pulley and a little bit of the mounting bracket needs to be modified. We're gonna make these work. So as you can see, they look almost identical. The pulley is a little bit different. I think it's the spacing mostly. And I think the mounting brackets just need to be massaged a little bit, but otherwise it's about the same. Same output, same functionality. We should be good to go.
Now, measure your holes, I guess. To the center or wherever you want to do it.
Yeah.
You're one-handed.
All right, so we got the brackets and the adjuster all lined up. We got the pulley swapped, it all fits.
So we have our intercooler sitting in place now. We're putting the radiator and the shroud in. We're gonna run a big old mechanical fan. As our idol Yoshinori Kaguchi told us when he came over to hang out with us and drink beers, show us what cool driving looked like. So we're gonna run this fan. Actually, there's a GK Tech upgrade, so it's gonna be the most serious mechanical fan ever.
60% more airflow.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mechanical fans work awesome. If you can use them in your setup, use them. We're just going to get this in place, make sure. We have to now make charge pipes, essentially. The inlet and the outlet of the intercooler, we're going to weld on these cast 90s and run them where they have to go. Out of the turbo to the intercooler, out of the intercooler to the throttle body.
Yeah, and to make sure that they have all the right clearance, so I'm going to put this sweet AM wideband in, and then all the other bits and pieces here, so we know where we have to snake the intercooler pipes. This AM wideband is going to be valuable with the Link ECU.
Yep, it's part of the whole system.
Yeah, that's great. And to complement that, instead of using and trying to hack up this old trusty harness, we have this incredible work of art from Wiring Specialties. It's better than OEM, perfectly done. The craftsmanship is amazing.
And that's their Pro Series, so I think it's a little bit upgraded as far as the wrap and the connectors and stuff, but it's a killer piece.
Gorgeous. Better than OEM.
Yeah. All right, so this is gonna get welded on directly here.
So that's some welds. Yeah. Good to go.
So we just went on summit.com, grabbed a ton of different vibrant piping and couplers. Couplers are made of silicone, like this. We're gonna use aluminum piping. It's all pretty standard stuff. We have to do this because we put it in like an unorthodox place. If we didn't have fab skills, we would have just bought a kit. There's lots of them out there that would have put it in front of, you know, the bumper where all the problems are. So we're not doing that, but it's gonna be a little bit more work for sure.
All right, so this car came with no clutch pedal in it, and we robbed this one out of the car that's going to the bottom of the ocean at some point, maybe.
Hey, somebody just bought that. It's gone now.
Oh, it's gone?
It's gone. We're good.
Okay, no, I didn't notice.
Right where it was.
Okay, car's gone. They don't have a clutch pedal anymore. We do, which is dope. We got this awesome clutch master from Dorman for buddies, and we're gonna stab this thing in here so that we have 3 pedals instead of 2. Because 3 is always better than 2.
Is that right?
That's what I've heard.
Nothing's better than these Wiring Specialty things.
Wow.
Nothing at all.
All right, Mike and Mike are bleeding the clutch. Zach is tightening up the exhaust we just tossed on. We're gonna get it down, start cutting up some charge pipes and keep on moving.
Yeah, we also plugged in and kind of rerouted in a nice, clean fashion this Wiring Specialties harness. It's awesome. At first, I thought it was gonna route like stock, and it didn't. So it took some like trial and error, see how it best fit. But now that it's fitted up, it's great, and it's mostly hidden. So.
Solid. Before we get the fuel tank in, we're gonna clean out these clogged fuel lines with some compressed air and a good healthy shot of gum out. Hit it. Whoa! There it is. That's awesome.
Damn.
It really, yeah, look.
Look at that.
It was wild. All right, spray more gum out in there, make sure it's clean.
Got the gum out.
It was clogged. My man sprayed that gum out cleaner in there, let it sit, hit it, and finally just all blasted out, and this is what we're looking at. It broke some big chunk loose.
All right, so this is the stock clutch fan. They work great. A lot of times people replace them with electric fans. Don't suggest that. These are really reliable. They pull a lot of air.
Yeah.
No electrical load.
If your engine's spinning, it's spinning.
Yeah.
They break on.
You don't have to think about it. But after years and years of using these stock ones, GK Tech has made an improvement, which from what I read, pulls 60% more air, which is insane.
60%
60%
more air.
100% of the time.
Take that.
Yeah.
SR.
When it's spinning. So we're gonna go ahead and swap just the fan onto the stock clutch. It's a viscous clutch.
Okay, if that goes bad, then it doesn't work. But everything else we said is true. I think that'll come through with a short filter here. Little plenty of room here. All right, tight, weld it up. Hot pipe is done. Mikey's got the wiring harness on. Fuel tank is in. The clutch works. Big day here. It's like midnight, and we're gonna hit the sack. But good work, everybody. Getting close. Getting close. Boom.
Boom.
We are just about done the charge pipes. We're gonna get into the computer stuff. I have a Link G4. This is like a standalone computer engine management system that's actually gonna go into the old computer housing box. My boy Jimmy Oakes hooked that all up. Looks like a really cool system. It's got a built-in 7-bar map sensor. To run it though, Mikey's gonna install this little trigger wheel that goes inside the cam angle sensor. And I'm sure just gives you more resolution for a more powerful computer.
Who would have imagined 20 years ago that they would make drop-in the stock ECU full standalone engine management?
Yeah. We've come a long way, baby.
A long way from Power
This is like a Virginia Slims commercial.
Which one's that?
Stock? Yeah.
Yeah, there's no instructions, and I believe, it looks to me like it shouldn't matter.
Angles. It's simple.
Yes.
You think part of the machine process?
Like design it all, so I don't really know, but I think
They're hidden completely under this washer,
Exactly.
so they're not functional.
that's what I'm telling you.
Got it.
So this is the inside of the stock computer. This is the much upgraded Link G4X engine management system that goes right in place of it.
That looks great.
All right, I have the Link G4X loaded into our factory case. I'm going to connect. This is essentially the cable that will go to the computer. I'm going to squirrel this right through here and connect it. So that later on you just come in, you plug your computer in, and then some wizard does some tuning magic to make all sorts of horsepower and backfire explosion sounds. There we go, we're tuning ready. This has an internal map sensor that's manifold absolute pressure. So I'm going to install while this is out. It's right on the board, which is nice and, easy to sort out, but I have to get a little vacuum line in here that I will now connect to here. Got a little zip tie around it, and we are ready to make boost. And this will allow us to get rid of our right there. That's going to allow us to get rid of our mass airflow big bulky sensor. It does sort of the same thing. It changes it over to a speed density system.
Hold it up for me again.
Right there. That's the map. This is the tuning cable that connects to your computer. And then I'm going to just put in the cable that goes to our fancy new dash, the PowerTune Digital. This reads through CAN bus, which is some kind of black magic. I don't exactly know how that goes, but I do know that it fits through this hole probably, and then we'll be good. There she is. A link to the past, a link to the future.
Who's here?
I can see that. Okay, keep going.
Pizza time, baby.
Streets open for this pizza, boy.
Yes, sir.
Keep going. So we have this charge pipe ready to rock. Fits nice. we have to attach this idle air valve to it. We can't find any 3/4 inch aluminum, except there is, the perfect size for this is one industrial dustpan. This is hot rod life. If you don't use it, you'll lose it.
The shop.
The shop, yeah, we'll lose the shop. We've got a client coming to buy this car tomorrow, and if he doesn't get here and see this car finished and ready to drive, we're gonna lose it.
The shop.
They're gonna stop giving my kids lunch at school. We can't afford them.
Get the pen.
Yep.
Fire up the bandsaw.
Let's go. We'll have to over.
Great. Boom.
Put it on.
Look at that.
Like it never even happened.
Perfect. They close it all the way? We are getting very close to firing this thing up, and basically the last big piece has arrived. I went out and got a full chassis harness from the guys at Wiring Specialties. This replaces literally every wire in your car. If you have some, we have none. It's got a PDM, power distribution module. This is full solid state. You actually go in and tell it where to put power and when. It's incredible. And it has a super cool touch keypad. This build is getting a little bit more than just a fun kick around car, but I'm super okay with it. It's fully wrapped, it's fully heat shrinked at any joint, and it's gonna plug right into this thing. It was built for an S13 hatch, so it's gonna just go plug and play. We're gonna get it fired up, take it to the dyno and see what kind of power this thing makes. I am extremely pumped. We did a ton of work. I'm ready to rock. All right, I'm just gonna clip this in. I'll see you over there. Our boy Jimmy Oakes is here. This is a tuning guru. He'll come right to your shop for you. It's amazing. He'll do that for anybody, right? Anybody. Yeah. Just call him. Put the bat signal in the sky and he's on his way. But no, he came out to help. He's out here in PA. We're gonna try to get our SR fired up. We have been thrashing on it. I think the only thing that's really different, Zach made a sweet intake for it. We just buttoned up a couple things. We put in the Wiring Specialties chassis harness temporarily because everything's coming out to get painted, but we're ready to fire this thing up on the Link ECU that you're super familiar with and send over.
So we went over everything, everything's good, it should start. So it should just start.
It should start. You haven't missed anything.
And you got these fresh overalls.
I got these tight overalls on because last time I did that, when you saw me jump into the car last time, I ripped my favorite overalls. So I got some new ones. Look at that. Hell yeah.
Well, that's easy, that's it.
Perfect.
Good motive.
So far.
Woo!
Nice. This guy knows what he's doing.
Sick. It sounds awesome, I'm hyped.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Before we do any serious tuning, we have to sync the Link ECU timing to the engine timing. Woo! Hell yeah.
Woo! Welcome to your racer again, Tony.
I'm ready.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Good motor. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah.
So the real question is, Tony,
Yeah.
how much power do you want to make?
I want to make a 550.
550.
Yeah, is that possible?
We'll try and keep her tamed.
That sounds perfect.
Well, we can do some magic to keep it safer too, so we'll be good.
Love that. We're at PSR, our local dyno shop we run at. We've got Jimmy shoehorned into this tiny car, and he's going to work the magic on the Link ECU and get this thing fired up. We're running a hub dyno this time. It's going to look a little bit different, but I'm excited. It sounds great. It's going to make all the flutters and choo-choos and everything. One last thing before we put the wood to my 240SX. We're gonna throw in some Gum Out Regain high mileage cleaner. This is a fuel system cleaner. It's gonna clean everything. We have an older tank in here. We're running the old lines. So this is gonna get rid of any gummy deposits and keep future ones from forming. What's nice is that yes, we have new injectors, but it's gonna lubricate and clean the upper cylinder, the ports, the intake valves, everything of all that carbon from Who knows how long this thing's been running, but here's the deal. I'm gonna put this in and it's gonna run just fine. Let's do it. It's hungry for it. You hear that? It says, give me the good stuff. Take it. All right.
Started with 1 inch of gum at the bottom.
Yeah.
4 ounces.
All right, fire it up, dude. Let's go. Maybe calm down. That seems like a lot.
That was crazy.
Came to Brad's and we overachieved.
Yeah. She's mean, dude.
That may never happen again.
These last 2 times, dude. We're digging.
Feel good about that.
This thing makes more power than everything but the fire rare we brought here so far. That was a top speed run. We had to check her out, what she's going to do on the back straight.
You're gonna have to reset the.
Hit 160, 165.
That was completely my bad.
All right, maybe make less boost or something. That sounds happy. Maybe it needs to be 17 pounds on the ragged edge on the very first run. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. It's a Ghost Turbo, man. You can't hold this thing down. I told some guy from Facebook, make like 300 horsepower, fun little drift car. He sent us this Ghost Turbo, and that's it. We got no idea. No idea.
How many pounds is that right
He bailed out at 5,300. He was like, wow!
So the gate pressure is too high, so it makes a lot of power in gate. See what happens?
All right.
7 and a
I
half.
kind of like the
6, 8.
I like the under.
Right, we're taking apart the wastegate actuator. That's cool. See if we can get a little less spring in there. We're trying to make less power.
Little hat for you. Oh boy, that's it.
That's cute. That's cute.
So this spring is way too strong. So
Jeez.
yeah, it's a beefy.
Looks like a valve spring.
Yeah, think of it. You got a Ford
We
valve.
might have a valve spring that will do better than that. Serious. We're making too much power and we're making too much boost. We're trying to turn it down a little bit. Keep this thing together.
Something a little different we haven't done before.
So right now we're searching for less power.
I know.
It's a new thing we're gonna try. Keeping it together.
That's adorable. I like that.
What is this?
Off regular, just 44mm release gate.
Yeah, perfecto.
Feels good. This feels like 12 psi.
Get out of here. What is that?
Yeah. See, look at it. Feel.
Okay, if that's 17.
Yeah. Maybe 11.
8.
8?
8 maybe.
You want to put money on it?
Yes. This is a diaphragm that's filled with boost from your engine, and when it gets to a certain point, enough to essentially overwhelm this spring, then it allows this piston to move, and just a little lever is opening a mechanical wastegate flap on the turbocharger, and that lets exhaust go around the turbine wheel, thereby making less boost pressure. So that's how it controls. It's very simple. Yeah. Simple terms: more wastegate spring equals more boost equals more problems and more fun. That's the limiter right there, boy. Perfect. A little more juice under the curve. 323 wheel, 292 torque. This thing's gonna murder tires. Murder them. This thing makes 170 more horsepower than that Oldsmobile. Maybe calm the down. Everybody be cool. Everybody chill out.
This turbo hits a lot more efficient than I thought it would. So let's peep it.
It looks very burly. You are doing a good job here.
It's hard. I feel like it's hard to convince the guys, especially if you're watching like the V8 guys, stuff like that, that 315 like foot-pounds torque is sick.
It's sick.
It's sick.
It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder that is bone stock and 25 years old.
It hasn't ran in a long
Hasn't
time.
run in a decade.
This poor thing, dude.
Yeah.
And the first pass, it made 100.
First pass. Like 17 pounds of boost.
No. It was great.
Really
So-
woke it up there. Keeps making more horsepower. We just shut this thing down. It made 340 wheel horsepower at like 11.5 PSI, over 300 pound-feet of torque at the tires. This thing is a little animal. This is awesome. Jimmy clearly is a wizard at this Link SR20 4-cylinder stuff, which is great. I can't wait. I'm one step closer to getting back in the saddle of a proper drift car. I'm super excited. Thanks so much, man.
Happy to be part of it.
Yeah, man, this is awesome.